I love that. 14. The 15th person to hit the thumbs up. The next person thumbs up. The 15th thumbs up. That's it. You get to be on a live show. Call the office. Come to Missouri. You're on a live show. 16. Dude, I'll have you all. I'll have all you guys. You stop by the office. You come see the place. I'll show you around. Give you a tour. I'll put you on a show. Put you on a video. We'll do an interesting in your car. We'll buy you lunch. DJ will see a camera in your face. It'll be fun, man. It'll be awesome. It'll be a blast. 17 thumbs up. I love you guys. Okay, so any other questions? We're wrapping up.
All right, here we go. Okay, you there, Harry?
I'm here.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Leonard Johnson again with the Run the Hammer podcast, the coordinators show, and I want to apologize for getting late, but the wrong link went out, and of course, me being the guy who sent the link up, I screwed up. Okay, so I thought I had this thing right. One letter can make a big difference right here. And Daryl is I sent the same link to Daryl, and he'll be kicking in here in a few minutes. And just want to thank everybody for being here, and I really appreciate it. This is something new that we're getting started. Getting the coordinators involved and you people getting to know who the coordinators are, because the coordinators are very important to a head coach, and if you got a good one, you're going to roll. If you got a bad one, you're going to suffer from that. And I think we got two of the good ones in the state, and we'll get going here, but we'll get going with Harry to see if he is to get him going and everything. Boy, everybody's lighting it up, man. I tell you what, your Facebook page and everything, man, people lighting this thing.
Man, a lot of people like me, Coach. I mean, I just be me. A lot of people like me, man, and I like them back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to get started here and tell everybody about you. I know a lot of people know you, but a lot of people don't know you. So I'm gonna give those 6 people who don't know you a chance to get to know you. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Harry Curnell, man. Born and raised in downtown Charleston, South Carolina. Graduate of Burke High School. Got a full scholarship to play at Hampton University. Went to Hampton. Played some good ball on some great teams, man. Won some championships. Played some playoff games. Played along some guys that went to the league.
Yeah.
Chased the ball a little bit myself. When the ball started rolling, got into coaching. That was something I always wanted to do. That always been a thing of mine. I always made the statement that, I couldn't get paid to play this thing. I was going to get paid to coach it. I was going to get paid playing out of football somewhere. Doing this since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Right after graduation, man, I had the opportunity to join the college staff, and it was an exciting experience. Young guy from walking the walk, coming from the inner cities of Charleston, being able to coach college football was a great deal for me. At the time, didn't really realize, what the business had entailed and where I would be in the business. What's up, Coach?
Hey, Coach, what's happening, man? How you doing? How's everybody?
I can't call it, but trying to figure out where would this business take me, and trying to figure out like what was it really about. And I was lucky enough to be around some great older guys that can actually teach me the game the long way. And I'm glad that I came out when I came out. I'm on here with 2 legends right now. I mean, like Coach Page just popped on, and I remember being in 9th grade, 10th grade, playing for Riley Jackson at Burke High School, and we used to play Wilson all of the time in Orangeburg state camps and playing in Wilson's Jamboree and things of that sort. So I knew Coach Page since I was a freshman in high school, man. And I'm not trying to tell you age, Coach. But but getting into the game and actually getting into coaching, man, and not realizing, not knowing the business, and being around some older guys, and being taught the business the long way. We got some guys right now that these guys got a huddle and everything else. When I first started, and I mean, I know you two guys can attest to it, there was no huddle. I was huddle. Somebody gave me a pencil and a legal pad and sat me in a dark room with 6 game films. And I couldn't come out until all 6 games were broken. But that's how I cut my teeth in this game. And, you know, from there, I had other stops and ran into other guys. And I stay in contact with older coaches and guys like yourself that actually mentored me through this thing. So that's kind of how I got to where I am right now.
Okay. And the legend of all, the great Darryl Page. Everybody knows Darryl Page. You know, and but you know, I'm glad you're on, Darryl, because I want to hear I want you to talk about this transition that that you made from being in charge to being a subordinate, but being a very good one at that. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we can get into the meat of what we're doing here tonight. And let me before you get going here, guys, if you got a comment or got a question for anyone of these guys, just put it in, and I may try to get you on here so you can ask that question yourself. Okay, so go ahead, Darryl.
Well, I'm Darryl Page. This is my 37th year coaching high school football in South Carolina. Started off at McCall High School, straight out of college, went to Winston-Salem State. I had an opportunity to play on the collegiate level in the CIAA, 3 Southern Division championships, but no CIAA championship. Started off at McCall High School in McCall, South Carolina. That was before Marlboro County, all those schools came together in Marlboro County, and went from 1 year at McCall High School with a student population of maybe 300 total, 9 to 12, and go to Orangeburg-Wilkinson High School the next year, which was Big 16. And had an opportunity, like I said, I got a graduate degree in coaching because Thomas Saxon was the head coach there. And these guys were just coming off of their stint with Bill Davis. And Buddy Pugh was the offensive coordinator. And I was around older guys, George Suggs. These guys had just come fresh out of the college ranks. So everything was, like Coach Curnell said, everything was new to me. I was breaking down film. They were showing me the ropes. And obviously, I must have gotten pretty good at it. And I stayed there for 7 years and began my journey at Wilson in 1993 and stayed there for 19 years. And I was fortunate, and Coach Johnson, you can attest, when you got a good principal who's a patient principal, and he was patient with me. He told me, I'll never forget, my principal was Dr. Allie E. Brooks, still one of the most respected men in South Carolina as far as education, just in general. But I remember after my first press conference, Coach, we walked down to his office, and he told me, he said, Coach, it'll take you 3 years to clean this mess up. And he was prophetic. When I say prophetic, 3 years, first year went 1-10, next year went 4-7. And all of those kids graduated. So I'm starting off with sophomores again that were 4-7. And after the 3rd year, that 4th year, we broke through. And the program really became mine. And I'll tell anybody who takes over a program, principal or anything else, give that man at least 4 years. Give him a chance to get his kids in. So by the time my 4th year started, every kid that was in our program I was the only head coach that they knew. And that's important for establishing the culture, the consistency of it. And from there, we went on a long stretch where we were good for a long time. And that journey took me, I just say between, sometimes you can stay in a place too long. As much as I love Wilson and still love it. I left there in 2012 and went to Lower Richland High School. And I firmly believe if I would have stayed there, we would have won a state championship. We were well on our way. We were young. And I adapted some talent. Some talent was there when I got there. There's no question about that. Anytime you're at a school like LR, there's always talent. And, last year there, we had a quarterback. Finally had another quarterback. And that's key on the high school level. If you got a good trigger man, you give yourself a chance to win. That and a good defensive coordinator. You better hire a good one until your offense gets good. And in 2016, started having some back and hip problems. And like I said, transitioned back to being an assistant. And that first year, Coach Johnson was the hardest year I'd ever been through. I was the final say so for so long. And then you have to go through somebody and say, hey, do you want to do this? We can look at this. We can look at that. Usually I wanted to do it. I was just green lighting. This is what I'm doing. And, you know, it definitely brought in a servant's mentality. And I've been at peace with that ever since. I think there may be one job I may have applied for since then. But I'm in a comfort zone right now.
Yeah.
We got a good team, good program. And right now, if something goes wrong, I can always do this. At the end of the day, you point at somebody else. So that's where I'm at right now, but very comfortable in what I'm doing.
Harry, you've
hear me okay? I think we're locking up something.
Harry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry, you have been at several programs. I'm getting the question thought in my head. That's why I'm hesitating. Yeah. And you have made many stops, you know, and you haven't been a head coach yet, I don't believe, right?
No, I haven't.
What makes you that great? And I know you're a great assistant because I've seen you work, you know, and
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people say very good things about you and everything. What makes that good assistant where a coach can trust you, turn his back, and know that the job is going to get done? What makes a guy like you succeed like that without that coach not fearing a knife in his back? Just to be blunt.
I hold myself accountable, Coach. I mean, accountability is one of the biggest things possible. Even though I haven't been a head coach yet, I've been a head coach every year. I've been a coordinator. I'm the head coach of the defense. And I take that approach often. I hold myself accountable for all the actions of the kids on my side of the ball. And I work hard for the common goals of the head coach. They're his goals, and I understand that. And it comes from working with older guys. The guys that actually taught me this game that I broke my teeth in this game. It's like there's no pride that belongs in the office of success. Successful programs, they don't have pride in the office. I mean, amongst each other. And that's one thing that I could always say. I was never, ever, and I don't think I ever be to the point where I'm not willing to learn. I don't understand goals, or I have too much pride to take an order. You know, but I hold myself accountable, and I make sure that my guys are to the standards of the head man. And I play my role. I understand that. I don't have a problem with being a good Indian. I know the value of my work.
Yeah. Do you have disagreements with Marlon?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just the other night.
Here we go down. We're gonna get the offense talk now.
Hey, look.
Well, we can get real now.
And it usually happens during like game time. Like we sit down, we go back and forth, we spitball, we put it on the wall. But game time is crazy because I also do special teams. So I'm the defensive coordinator, and I do the special teams too. So it was a scrimmage. The scrimmage before the first week of the season. And we always go back and forth, and it's always on a Friday night. It's always on a Friday night. So he's screaming at me. I just got from under the tent with the defense. It's third down. The punt team goes on the field. We're one kid short, and I'm talking about, man, he's digging in me, man. He's ripping me a new one. So I turn and look at him. I'm like, man, I'm trying. So we go back and forth. I'm trying. What you want me to do? Like it get back and forth like that.
Yeah.
But both of us understand, like, during battle, it happens, and it stays in between the lines. There are no ill feelings. No one gets in their feelings. It's football. We talk about it, and really 10 minutes later, he forgets about it. And I'm the only one still got it on my mind. Like, man, you ain't gonna talk to me like this. But I totally understand. We played West Ashley last week, man. The kids running the dive, and for some reason I can't stop the dive. So he's looking at me like, stop the dive, stop the dive. I gotta look at him like, I'm not taking a snap. Like, and it's Friday night, but it's par for the course, and we understand each other. We have a relationship where we can have those kind of talks, and nobody feels a certain kind of way. And I feel as a coordinator, I mean, it's all based on production.
Yeah.
So right at that point in time, if you're not productive, it's his card. Is we riding it now. You got to respect that. And we on top of our game right now. Like, one night I was on top of it. Like, we clicking on defense. Offense not doing good. He said, look, I need you to get me out of this. So it was the exact opposite when you're doing good. So you just got to take it.
I'm just laughing, man, because I can just imagine those two on the side.
It's always Friday nights, though. Monday to Thursday, there's never an issue. Friday nights, oh, man, if I can't contain the ball, oh, man, it's a problem.
But I think you mentioned one word there that is very important, and I think people gloss over it. It's a little bit more than the X's and O's. It's much more than that.
Much more than that.
But
it's
see,
all,
you mentioned
about relationships.
Exactly. You got that relationship built, where you can go at each other like brothers, and come up because you're all for the same goal and everything. Darryl, you had a and we're gonna get into some philosophies and everything, but I find both of you guys' situation unique. Jordy is your head coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've known Jordy for years, and I know Jordy, where he came from, what he was doing, and everything. How did you win him over?
When he came in, Jordy came in first year. And Jody and I had a long relationship. I knew him when we first started running inside zone at Wilson. He was the first guy that I went to go see, because I'd seen him on film when he was assistant at Conway at the time. I drove all the way from Florence to Conway during the school day to sit down with this guy. And so the relationship kind of built from there. When he came in, I told him, I said, we got all the pieces in place. All the pieces in place. All you got to do is fine tune. And the first year, he really, it was pretty much offensively, it was my thing. We had kids that had been in the program since I've been there, and quarterback that had really developed during his junior year, where he's understanding what we want done. We had a dynamic tailback, a kid named Alim Ford. And between those two, man, we knew it. We had the communication part down perfect, everything. And that first year Jody was there, I think we were 11-2. We were still 5. Ended up losing the Dutch Fork in the lower state semifinals, which was a whole nother animal. But we put up some points. And he was like, all right, man, just do your thing. I want to coach the offensive line, which he still does to this day. And we got a good relationship. Usually he takes, if this is something specific he wants done, it's pretty much my baby. I always ask for his input because, like Coach said, it's his call. I'm riding shotgun over there.
Yeah.
If you say, Coach, I want to run option, guess what the next play gonna be? Option. Whatever you want to do now.
It's his call.
Yeah, it's his call. And so And the thing is, I guess what was the hardest thing for me was I was so used to driving the car. When you get a driver that's been in there driving a long time, it's cross-eyed when you have to give up that seat now. But in right now at where I'm at, this is perfect. And the thing is, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do it, but we got a young guy on staff, a guy named Braxton Ivory. He's going to be a future OC, and he's going to be a good one. And when you got them youngsters in the back seat ready to get in the front seat, and man, this probably my last ride. I'm not sure, but you can tell he's going to be a future offensive coordinator. And I tell him, I say, man, the thing is with that calling offense, you better go learn some defense now. Better learn what people doing on defense now, because this game has changed, like Coach said, so much. And, I try to stay up on it, like Coach said. Even at this age, I'm still studying. I'm still watching film. I'm still going to clinics. I'm trying to get better every day. So in turn, when I go out there with those kids, I want that confidence there. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. And it's been a great thing with Jody. We got a good connection there, and got some pieces in place. So we're gonna ride it out and see how it goes this year.
Was there ever a time, and I'm talking to you, Daryl, was there ever a time that people came at you to, people try to get in the middle of your business? Did you have that?
Yeah. But the thing is, even when you finally, and this is a prophetic word from Buddy Pugh, when I was at Wilson, trying to figure out what works best for us. We always had skill kids, and Buddy was at Fairfield Central at the time, and they were running that wing T. God knows, I think they scored over 700 points that year. It was one of the best high school teams I'd ever seen in South Carolina. And went up to see him during the playoffs, spend all the practice there sitting down talking and whatnot. And he said, Daryl, you can't dabble in the wing T. He said, either you're going to be in or you're going to be out. And I'll never forget when I left there, he said, you got to find out what it is that you want to do and what your kids can do. When I left from up there at Fairfield Central, I knew right then and there Wilson was going to be a spread team as long as the head coach. And so also, we got that thing together, and that's just kind of the way it went from there, But there's always somebody trying to get in there. Y'all need to do this. You don't need to do that. And that can come from fans. That can come from parents. That can come from within your own faculty. And we've all been there. You mess around and lose one, everybody think you should have won. Well, coach, you go up and go check your mail. Well, coach, what happened? We got beat. That's what happened. We got beat. I never forget that, man. I was checking my mail up at Wilson one day, and people were inside the office in the copy room, and I heard a faculty member say to another, they got beat Friday night. The woman was like, huh? They got beat. And I'm like, she's like, that don't happen around here often, which at the time it didn't. But the expectations had gotten so high. And everybody felt like, all right, because they know coach, I got to give you my input. I guess I didn't ask you for your input, but I'm going to tell you anyway, and you try to be cordial. You've been there, be cordial, yeah, but you really want to say, man, please, you ain't out here 6 o'clock in the morning, you ain't in this weight room, you ain't out here 9 o'clock at night, So you just kind of deal with it, and you try to be cordial, but just brush it off your back. Just keep going, especially if you have a system of what you believe in and your kids believe in it. You got to stay true to that. You got to stay true to it.
What about you, Harry? If you haven't, you will.
Yeah, I mean,
those whispers coming into your
just last week, I had a guy walk past me. We went down to West Ashley. It was an up and down game, man. It took us 2.5 days to play a game because of lightning.
Right.
So, the kids were up and down, and, that's another story. I had a guy walk past me and said, man, coach, you ain't make no defensive adjustments. And I'm looking at him. And he's like, yeah, man, that 3-man front. I ain't played 3-man front all night. First of all, I don't know what 3-man front he was looking at. They ran the flex bone. So I was in the 5-man front. I played a 4-man front. I played a 6-man front. I ain't playing no 3-man front. So this man told me, yeah, y'all got to get out of that 3-man. So I'm looking at him like, what 3-man you see? You know, these quarterback coaches, these what they call them, couch quarterbacks. They come in all different forms, man. They come as fans. They come as teachers. They come as parents. Man, they come in all different forms, man. And some of them I ask them, you know, sometimes after the game you head, I say, well, why don't you apply? Why don't you apply? Come on by, man, and help me put this game plan together. Nah, coach, I'm all right. You know, but when you winning, boy, you the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. I remember we beat the crap out of somebody, you know, and just ran the one play, and somebody coming up, yeah, and coming, you know, just walking out the field, going to the locker room. Somebody holler out there, you need to throw the ball more. I said, damn, man, there's 60 damn points up on the board. What the yeah, and I had to hold myself because I said, you don't follow ignorance. You know, you move on to that locker room as long as the kids understand what you're doing. Yeah. As long as the coaches understand what you're doing, you know, we roll on and everything. We just don't do anything. Sometimes the best thing to do is not to answer and move on.
Yeah, a lot of times the best thing to do not to answer. Yeah, ease yourself a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
I used to wear my headsets even in after the game.
I'm gonna try that one, coach. Headset on until I get in the locker room.
Keep the headset on. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off until I get to the locker room.
Now, both of you, even though you are coordinators, and I was big on this. And I was big on this because I always look at the what ifs. And I always said, what if you're not there that night? Who's going to run this thing? You know, it sure ain't going to be me because I don't know defense. I'm only kidding. But, you know, who's going to run this thing? How do you get the guys, the defensive staff, and I'll go to Darryl first. How do you get your defensive staff involved in case you can't make it? You know, you had a toenail that was bothering you and you couldn't walk. How do you get those guys involved?
Now you tell me, because I'm gonna say this, and I say that on any staff. There's always that guy on your staff that when everybody leaves, he's the guy still in the room with you.
Yeah,
that's my guy. For a long time, my guy was Mark McLean. Mark McLean's he's at C.A. Johnson now. Mm-hmm. That's my guy. All right. If I go to the left, you know what to do. And the thing is with coordinators, if I hired a coordinator, my job was, all right, you the head, like Harry said, you the head coach of the defense. Your job is to get me that football back. That's your job. And the only thing I'd ask any head coach, any D coordinator, we're gonna play cover 2. Everybody ain't willing to walk that ball down the field. Mm-hmm. I'll make you 5-yard us to death. You better, because we're gonna come up and we're gonna make tackle. All right. If you running that ball hard, yeah, we'll play some cover 3. We will. But we're gonna learn how to play that zone. And because to me, from an offensive standpoint, that's the hardest thing to do because people don't want to be patient. I take that 5-yard hit. Harry know it. I take it over and over and over
again. Over again. We'll get to a part, Coach Johnson. I'm gonna tell you a story about the first game that I ever was a coordinator in high school. I played against Darryl Page.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah. But the thing is, you got to put your guys, and you got to empower as a head coach. You better empower your guys to do the job, even if you're not there. Uh-huh. That's the reason you hire assistants. All right. If I got to stand over you and tell you what to do all the time, man, I might as well get that supplement myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing your job, and it doesn't allow you to do your job. The only thing I used to tell my coaches, even coordinators, whatever, if you bring me a problem in one hand, you better bring a solution in the other hand. And that empowers a guy. I ain't gonna stand over you. I'm trusting you. Until you show me your trust, I can't trust you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's in all things. That's in all areas of the program. Not, all right, you got a coach that all he does is just coach. All right, I need somebody to go help me wash these clothes. Somebody go sit out there and wait till these kids go home, or if I have to take a kid home, can do the things, and you give them responsibilities to do. So guess what? I'm not trying to punish you, man. I'm trying to get you prepared because you don't know what kind of program you're going to go into. Leonard, you done everything just like me. From drive the bus, wash the clothes, line up the pregame meal, postgame meal, line the field, get everything straight for the officials room and everything else before you take a snap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to say, if we get a job, when I say we, predominantly black head coaches, you get a job, either they've never won before, or they won and they lost what they had, or it's been a program that's been run down into the ground for so long that you got to scrape, and a lot of times until you hire good people, you're gonna have to do it all yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to prepare that guy for it and empower him to do it.
Harry, you are on the younger side. How long you been coaching now? About 5 years?
It's 21 right now, coach. I ain't in them double 40s like y'all, but I'm doing this a little while now.
Okay. And how do you get your guys who are subordinates to you to get involved and stay involved?
Actually, coach, like I told you, I take a lot of accountability for myself. So the way Coach Taylor looks at me and what he expects from the defense means a lot. So I really run my side of the ball like I'm a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
We meet more as a defensive staff than we probably meet as a whole staff. Just to make sure we're on top of our stuff. I take a lot of things that I learned from different stops and different people. One of the biggest things that we do is staff development during the summertime. Each position coach is responsible for actually going to the board and coaching the whole staff like we're freshman football players that never played high school football before. And that coach is responsible for actually clinicking the staff on his position. Now that kind of goes twofold. It gets the coaches comfortable with speaking about the position in public, and it also gives me a chance to know what he's going to tell my kids, and are we on the same page as far as what he's coaching. And that has been a big thing for me as far as being a DC and the defensive staff, because I can kind of gauge what is being coached and what shouldn't be said and things of that sort. So we go back and forth. So I kind of know what they're coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I also I'm not a micromanager. I don't say anything really until it's bad. I expect a lot of my coaches, I give them a lot of responsibility. If they don't meet those responsibilities and I got to do them myself, then that's a problem. I address them, and then if it keeps continuing, then I'll go to the head coach. But by the time I get to Coach Taylor, they should already be gone. Fortunately, we never had that situation. I never had that happen. Never had it go sour with me. I always had good guys that's willing to do the work. We spend a lot of time breaking down film. I demand a lot of my staff and the kinds of show and production. I got a great staff right now. I got guys like Jamie Isaac, Bryce Fisher, another Harry Montgomery, Brandon Jameson, Coach Clayton is a young guy. So I got a great staff, and they respond. But it all starts with that staff development during the summertime, where we meet 2 or 3 times a day. When we do install, I do a lot of talking so they can, say what I say. We can use the same words so the kids understand we're on the same page. Young kids, they see the crack, they see divides. So when you're not on the same page, it's hard to get a kid to kind of move forward. So the getting on the same page and having everybody where they're supposed to be, it starts in the summertime, just like the kids. There's a lot of demands, there's a lot of responsibilities, and the same way I hold myself accountable, the same way Coach Taylor holds me accountable, I hold my defensive staff accountable.
Daryl.
Yes, sir.
Talked to Wayne Farmer a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he gave you the highest of praises and everything, and said that he emulates you now with that system that you have thrown all over the state right now. You want to explain that system that you run and everything, and how has it been so successful throughout the years?
Well, when I first started, we were at Wilson. We threw the ball. That's what we were going to do. Because one, at the time we weren't strong enough up front to control the game on the line of scrimmage. But we had skilled guys that we could isolate. And you're talking about early 90s, we were one of the few teams that were spreading, and one thing I can say about, and Harry said that as far as staff development, my principle, whenever we would go to, say we go to the playoffs, maybe go 1 round, 2 rounds, whatever, as we continue to get better, you got your money. And the thing is, he would allow us to visit other places. And the first place that we went as a staff was Florida State. And that's right after the Charlie Ward era, when they were really throwing the ball around, that kind of thing. And you went and you saw it firsthand. You sit in the meeting rooms during the clinics, listen to these guys talk, and you asking questions and they answering them. And you finding out, hey, we can do this. We can do this. And so we started really spreading the ball around, throwing it around, quarterback development, a lot of stuff during the summer. We worked harder in the summer as hard in the summer as we did during the season.
Yep.
And by the time when we hit that field, man, that ball, we had thrown them same routes. We thrown them routes 3 months, 4 months in a row, making the adjustments. If he does this, you do this. And first, really, Craig James, the guy played at South Carolina State, played for Buddy. He's a successful chiropractor down in the Florida area right now. He was the first kid I had who could really spin it. And we had other kids who were good athletes. But then, in 99, when Durant showed up, man, it was like, whoa, you talking about a kid 15 years old who really gets it. And we rode him, man. Legitimate. If he doesn't get hurt his senior year, we might go undefeated. We were playing that well. And sometimes, Leonard, you won a couple state championships. But you know what it's like. Sometimes you look out there on your field, you be like, damn, are we that good? And when he was out there, it was like, damn, are we that good? And more and more people, you start visiting places, you got a chance to clinic, people talking to you, asking you about the different things you do. And that's the same thing that carried throughout Wilson and when I went to LR. And when I came to West Florence, we didn't have that same type kid. So I had to adapt to what we were doing. So mix a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm a big, right now, and Harry, I tell you, if somebody is not running power read, they cheating their kids. We run that. We run that power read. And different elements with the motions, that kind of thing, borrowing from you in the wing tee, Wayne in the wing tee, seeing how motion, and Tommy Brown used to tell me that when I was working for him, you run motion to cause emotion. And when you start moving people and getting more people to the point of attack than they got, defensively, they're going to adjust now. I tell you, they ain't going to be outflanked. You got more than I got over there. I'm gonna get me some people over there.
We got to move.
Now you go back the other way because they short to the other side. And so that's kind of what we're doing now. It's a little bit different, a little mix of we definitely more run pass mix, but we're more run oriented now at West. And so far, it's worked well for us. We got an athlete at quarterback, special kid named Deuce Hudson, and man, he can do it. And so far it's led to a lot of success, and hopefully we'll keep going. You know?
Yeah. Well, I've always said that power read, that's nothing but the hammer with a dress off. That's all it is.
Right, it's a pretty dress, though.
No,
It's a
Coach,
pretty
she got
dress.
more than the dress on, Coach.
Yeah.
She got more than the dress on.
Yeah. That's that what you call that? That's that flimsy football, man. You got to get some blood in there somewhere.
Yes, ain't built like that no more, Coach.
That's all right. You still got to get some blood in there somehow.
Right.
Harry, what's your philosophy when it comes to defense? The only time I've seen you is when I was at Lake Marion, and then we scrimmaged that day. And I look back and I said, dang, man, these guys, I think you were at Keenan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, dang, man, Harry got these guys rolling. And I said, what's your philosophy when it comes to the defense side of the ball?
You know, all through football, Coach, I was an even guy. I was a 4-3 guy. I played in the 4-3. In college, I played in the 4-3. My first coaching job at Benedict College, John Hendrick was the head coach, and he was just coming from Mississippi State. And at that time, Mississippi State had Fred Smoot and the boys, man, and they had the #1 defense in the country. And he was talking this 3-3-5 stuff. I really was like, the 3-3-5? I was like, that's a nickel. Like, that's not a every down defense.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as he started explaining it, and he started explaining the philosophies, the Jolie Dunn theories and things of that sort, I started to kind of like it. And I added a little bit of my own to it, because I started dealing with kids that weren't SEC kids. See, Jolie Dunn in Mississippi State, they had SEC kids, and they could hold a point and two-gap nose and things of that sort. Well, when I got to the helm as far as being a coordinator, I looked at this thing, and my philosophy is I'm gonna cross your face. I'm gonna be faster than you. I'm gonna give you an illusion that something's there that's not. I'm gonna bluff you in your face, and I'm gonna blitz you on the backside. I'm a firm believer in crossing face or offensive lineman. I believe in pressure busts pipes, in my opinion. Now, you got your guys like Coach Page, who Coach Page liked people saying that kind of pressure on him because he liked to take advantage of the mismatches. But being able to send pressure, 6 guys for 6 gaps, and playing 5 in coverage gives me the ability to always send one more than you can block if you want to keep one guy in there to protect it. So 6 guys for 6 gaps is my main philosophy. We're going to cross face. We're going to bluff. We're going to send blitzes. It's a show over there, Coach. Mm-hmm. I like to fly around, and the kids like it. The kids get up for it. But it's a show. My philosophy is to cross your face. 6 guys for 6 gaps.
I remember, all of y'all remember Sam Pugh. And I know you do, Daryl. I don't know if you knew Sam. Yeah. And Sam came from C. Murray, and Sam is offensive minded, and I hired Sam, and I said, you're going to be the defensive coordinator. He looked at me like I lost my mind, and I said, it's not that big a deal. I said, we're going to make it real easy for you. And one of the things that I did and been doing for years is that we lock corners on receivers. And I said, by doing that, you free up a whole lot of stuff that you can do on defense. A whole lot of stuff. Now, did we get burned a lot for that stuff? Yeah. I mean, they would throw a couple of bombs and everything here and there. But what it did defensively now is that it allowed us to do the same thing that you were talking about. We had more people attacking the ball than they had to block, and it freed up, and we didn't have to worry about linebackers dropping into the zone because they're run only. And that's what made us aggressive. And once he understood that, what the thing was, and once he understood what we were doing with our defensive back, I mean, he became an all-American coach. He thought he had died and going to heaven, man, because of that. But you got to have your niche. You got to have your niche offensively, and you got to have your niche defensively, which merge together to complement each side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the key. I think that's the key a lot of the young guys miss. How do we complement each side of the ball with our schemes offensively and defensively?
They got to be married, Coach.
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
exactly.
They got to be married. You take, for instance, I talked earlier about when I came back out from the Atlanta Sports Academy, which is a postgraduate school I was in Georgia. I got the job at Keenan. And I was so excited. The first game as a defensive coordinator in high school, we come down here to Lower Richland High. And Coach Darryl Page, the head coach, and I know he liked to pitch this thing all over the park.
Mm-hmm.
And he got these two ball players. He got Larry Collins at wide receiver, and he had a quarterback that could sling it. Man, Coach Johnson, we came down here to LR, and we jumped all over Coach Page the first half. I'm talking about, boy, we choked them out. I'm sitting in the locker room with an old Kool-Aid smile because I understood why I knocked the king from on top of the hill. I don't know what he went in the locker room and did because I was very aggressive. I played man. I blitzed him. Oh, I was very aggressive. Man, we came out the second half, and the quarterback was Higgins, and the wideout was Larry Collins. And all I'm going to say, Coach, is the final score was 55-57. Coach Page beat me 55-57, and I had him, 28-0 at half?
Uh-huh.
So he put me in a situation where I understood at that time our offense and defense wasn't married. So I learned a lot about zone defense that day because I went a lot of man. And he had a man child. Larry Collins was a man child, man. Mm-hmm. And he was a kid that we couldn't account for a man. He shook loose in the second half. And it hurt me a lot. But before then, I was very aggressive, Coach. I was all over. And the final score ended up being like 55-57. And I totally believe that was because our offense at the time wasn't married to the defense. The offense was moving a little faster than they should have been. With Coach Page throwing the ball as much as he threw it, when we went up, we should have put that thing on the ground. But we tried to match him in the air. So with him throwing the ball like he throwing it, and with us going 3 and out, being an aggressive defense, it kind of gave him more possessions. And at that point in time, I kind of realized how it needed to be married. We went up. We should have grounded it a little bit to slow him down, take the air out the ball. But we didn't. And a lot of people don't look at football like that. But you have to, as a coordinator, and if you're a head coach, you got to understand that it has to be married.
Yes.
Have both of you, because I think we're going somewhere here. Has defense gotten more softer because they're trying to stop this spread stuff?
Oh, yeah, Coach. It's very soft. Last year, for instance, Coach Taylor and our offense want to run the ball. They want to go H-back tight end. They want to run power. They want to run the ball. I was practicing against that every day. Last year, I didn't give up a rushing touchdown till week 10. I didn't give up 100 yards on the ground till the second week till the second round of the playoffs. We were built to stop the run because we practiced against the run. Monday through Thursday, we seen power. We seen counter. We seen power. We seen counter 4 days a week. Our kids were built for it because all summer, all week, we were built to stop the run. the things that caused us trouble was things that we didn't see in practice. And because offenses don't operate and practice and run like they used to, defenses aren't built to stand up for it.
Darryl,
Yeah.
have offenses gotten softer?
Yeah.
I know they put up a bunch of points.
Yeah. And that's the thing now. Everybody's in love with points.
Yeah.
If most teams now are judged by how many points they score. With the game being played more, it's a sideline to sideline game now. A lot of teams, and I've seen it just watching teams that go 4 wide that don't have 4 wide personnel.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Are we doing the kids a disservice by doing something like that?
Yes, we are. When I came to West Florence, we didn't have those kind of kids to play that kind of offense. We had H-backs, we had tight ends. So now I had to adjust and find out what we do best. And that's, we're going to run that football 80, 90% of the time. And now we're seeing a lot of 8-man boxes, that kind of stuff, 1 high. But the thing is, at least defensively, I can tell you this. If you cannot tackle in space, you're not going to be a good defense. With the bubbles, the jet sweeps, that kind of thing, I'm trying to get the ball on the edge. All right. If I'm superior on the line of scrimmage, now I'm gonna pound you between them tackles. If you too light in the rump, or you ain't got enough people in there, we gonna run that thing downhill. Believe it now. But if you are equal, that goes back, I guess, to a Sun Tzu philosophy. If you are equal, I better attack you where I think you are weakest, and that's on that perimeter. On the wall now, there you go. Yeah. We're going to attack you on that perimeter. And if your kid cannot tackle in space, and that's the thing I think a lot of people have gone away from now, practices now, you very seldom bring anybody to the ground, man.
Yeah.
You very seldom bring anybody to the ground. Like you say, you got to get bloody. You got to get dirty in there, but you for fear of somebody getting hurt. You're going to get hurt on, I'd rather see him get hurt on Friday night. All right, you better have that next kid ready. You got to get them ready for the physicality of football, and people don't want it to be, but they don't want to be but so physical now. And that's the way it has gone. It has trickled from the pros down through college into high school. It's even there now.
But
that tough thudding. Like we got kids that tough thud on Friday nights.
Yeah. You don't see that toughness. I don't think that enough from the defensive side. I don't think there's enough emphasis on tackling.
Like Coach Page said, this man, we're playing defensive football, and the tackling part has now become like a foreign language almost, Coach.
Yeah, I know.
We got all these different tools to tackle. We got these tackling rings and tackling wheels that aren't people. Like, it's crazy, and some kids like they never transition. And you got these 7-on-7 leagues, and I'm gonna go out and say, 7-on-7 is a I call it what is it? It's an evil necessity nowadays in football. Because I remember when I was in high school, and Coach Page, both of y'all know we used to have them passing leagues. We had on helmets and shoulder pads.
Yeah.
We went to passing league fully dressed. Man, I remember, I was a freshman, and we were playing Mayo in 7-on-7, and Zola Davis ran a post, and the safety hit him. I'm talking about, and it was an all-out brawl out there. But we were in shoulder pads and helmets playing passing league. Nowadays in passing league, if you touch a kid, it's 35, 40 penalties. Football is now becoming an offensive game. they're actually making it harder to be defensive players. And the funny part about it, most of these athletes are defensive guys and not offensive guys.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part.
I think in the past, when we were doing it responsibly, contact responsibly during practice, we got less kids hurt then than we do now. And I think the reason that they're getting hurt as much is that because they're not used to the physicality and everything.
If you ain't never been hit on the dummy button, coach, when that dummy button get tapped, you turn
it's something. I used to say in our practices, our offensive line and defensive line go live every day. Not long, but they go live every day. How are you going to block somebody if he's not a human being? And our biggest thing was blocking. How the defense is going to react to something if it's not live.
That's my first approach, coach, to the whole deal. I mean, you got all these different offenses. You got spread. You got 3-by-1. You got empty sets. You got all these different formations. And at the end of the day, I tell my guys all the time, if they can't block us, they're going to have a long night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he's running out there. He can run in the bleachers and catch a screen to throw it 30 yards. If those 5 guys who was handing the dirt can't block us, boy, it's going to be a long night for them.
I hope that we can figure out a way to get to a point where we can safely, because safety is always number one, get back to the point where we are doing real football and everything. So it's just amazing how the game has evolved over the years, and it just befuddled me. Let's talk about some of the kids you got there, Darryl.
Right now at West Florence, we got some good kids, man. Senior laden team. You go out and you realize that you go to take senior pictures. There's 27 kids in the line. There's a lot of kids that are seniors that have been in this program for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about it now, every kid that's in our program, Jody Jenred's the only head coach they've known.
Mm-hmm.
So they've taken on his philosophy, what he believes in. And it's going to be, we're going to hit that weight room. We're going to run that football. We're going to be physically tough. And our kids are starting to buy into it because that's how we win.
Mm-hmm.
We got like I said, I mentioned earlier, a quarterback that's special, Deuce Hudson, transferred in last year from Darlington High School. We got a special back. When I say that, we had a kid, Terry McKeon, that started for us for 3 years. He's down at Georgia Military now doing this thing. Darren Lloyd, he's probably about 5'8", probably about 140, 150. One of the best I've ever seen at making people miss. He's a tough kid, small in stature, but you know how you got say you got a little small dog, but he thinks he's a pit bull inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. Got some kids on the outside. A kid named Stephen Smalls. Got another one just came out from basketball, but baseball is actually his thing. His name is Bryce, and this is his first year playing football. Bryson Graves, and he is, if he would play football 4 years, he'd be a Division I SEC type wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Defensively, we got kids who can run. We got linebackers and safeties that are athletic. All the pieces are in place. We got a young developing defensive line. We got a solid kicking game. We got good kids. We do. Are we good enough to return to a lower state championship? I don't know. It's a lot of competition in this lower state in 4A. You're talking about, I was just looking at the rankings came out yesterday. Us, Hartsville, South Florence, and I don't know if you've ever seen this kid from South Florence. One of the best quarterbacks.
He's a grown man.
Out there now, the best one out there. And how he gets out of the state of South Carolina baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
It baffles me. This kid is that good. They're good. Myrtle Beach is good. Hartsfield is good. Every week you seeing somebody. Wilson is good, much improved. Every week you seeing somebody in this region that can play. There's no doubt. And so playing good competition is going to prepare you for October and November in those playoff type games, playoff atmosphere games that your kids are used to playing somebody that is good. So I like us, but right now, after 1 week, we find out we're not as good as we think we are, but we're not as bad as we think we are too. Everything that went wrong in a first game is fixable. It's fixable. So that's what your biggest growth, I think, comes from your first game to your second game. Can we clean up some of these penalties?
Yeah.
The mental mistakes, that kind of thing. That's going to happen. But as more you play, the fewer there should be if there is good coaching going on. Right? And we're growing as a team from week to week. We got this week our first road test. We're on the road next week. Then we come back home. And so we're getting a taste of going on the road a little bit against good competition. We play Lake City this week. And Ronnie Baker's got some athletes down there, believe it. And they're disciplined, and they've been in Baker's system for about 3 or 4 years now. So they are Ronnie's kids.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be prepared. Believe that. So we got to go in not worrying about beating Ronnie, but if we execute to the best of our ability, it should take care of itself. It should take care of itself. That's not to discount his team by any way, because they're going to come out and play too. That's just like whoever Harry y'all playing this week, they're going to come out and play too. And it's a funny thing. I used to say for a long time at Wilson, we used to say our prayers, praying for victory. And it dawned on me one day. I was riding on the bus, man. I said, the other team prays too.
All the time.
And God hears their prayers just like he hears ours.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
only thing we could do is do our best and
That's
glorify
right.
him. And the rest will take care of itself,
Yeah.
But I like our kids. Best West Florence team I've been a part of since I've been here.
Yeah. Now you won last week.
Yeah, 131-28 against a good.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We talked about it, and you were over there complaining and everything, and all that stuff, and trying to doing me all that bull. Practice fixing mistakes are a lot better when you win than you.
They way easy that way.
Yeah.
What about you, Harry? What about your kids?
Well, we lost a whole lot, Coach. I might have had, I got 3 starters returning from our region championship playoff run last year. Just 3 kids returning. One of those kids happened to be the defensive player of the year, Damani Garrett. I got another kid right now, Jefferson Watson. Remember that name. Jefferson Watson might be one of the best athletes in the state of South Carolina, Coach. I played this kid can play corner, he can play safety, and he can play inside back. I've been around this thing a long time, and I ain't see too many kids that can play 3 of those positions like that and be productive. I think anywhere else besides here, this kid could go start in any of those positions. I'm just so happy to have him. But besides that, we're very young, man. We're very young. We got a bunch of young kids, but like Coach Page said earlier, that's LR. Down here in Hopkins and Eastover, man, it's we got them.
Yeah.
I mean, they come, they return. They come with more talent, different faces, and things of that sort. So we got a bunch of young kids. I think Friday night, if we played 30 kids, 23 of them might have been their first time playing varsity football. So we're in the building process. We're playing fast. We got some pretty decent kids, and we look to make another run. But the awkward part about it, Coach, is we lost all these seniors and we lost all this talent. But for some reason, it feels like these youngsters are going to be the one to kind of get you there. I'm pretty sure y'all had teams like that where the better teams, the teams that you thought that like were the better teams to get you there, it's always the next team or the team without those kids. And we have that team, I believe, this year. The good thing about it is there are no names. Even though we got a defensive player of the year over here, we got the kid Jeff Watson, we got Jamel Patterson, we got 2 transfer kids. one from Eau Claire, one from Columbia High. Those kids are athletes. So it's not a reloading situation. It's kind of who's next.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids are playing fast. They're bought in, and these are our kids now. This is our third year in the program. We've graduated seniors. These are our kids. These kids are disciplined. Our kids show up at 6 a.m. during the summertime. We got 95, 97% participation at 6 o'clock during the summertime. We're going to fly around. We're going to play fast. We got a new strength and conditioning guy, Coach Helms. He's been very, very good. So the kids are actually developing. So I look forward to making a run. And like I said, we were top heavy last year. All three of my D linemen were all state, all region kids. The whole unit. I had about 7 kids make all region, about 4 or 5 of them make all state. So it was a pretty good run last year. It's going to be hard to top that. But talent-wise, discipline-wise, and that it factor, I think we have it with this group. It's a smaller group. It's not as big. We're not senior heavy. We're junior and sophomore. We're busting at the sides with juniors and sophomores. Mm-hmm. And these kids are buying into the program, and I think they're ready to step up to the challenge.
Well, that's fantastic, man. And wow, you got me. You got my little butt burning right now. Well, guys, I really appreciate you being on. And again, I apologize for the beginning of it because I sent out a wrong letter, typing in a wrong letter that threw everything off. So I apologize for that. In closing, Darryl, you got anything you want to say?
Good luck to everybody who's I had coached in high school football, participating, the families involved. And you look at this country now, that's one of the few things that brings us together is sports. Mm-hmm. And, what it means to a school, a community, it's a special thing, man. And, I look at it, I've been blessed to do it for 37th year. And you appreciate it more, I guess, as you get older and understand what it means to families, what it means to schools, what it means to communities. The thing is right now you just say, all right, you do your very best because you are raising young men and young women and teaching them that things are not going to always go their way in life. And that's what football teaches you. Football teaches life, a lot of life situations. So good luck to everybody, let your work glorify the Lord and kind of go from there.
And Harry, you? Anything in closing?
It's been a pleasure to even be in you guys' company, man. Every time I get around you guys, I have a good time, man. And I really enjoyed this conversation. And all three of us, we can sit there and do this for hours, but we really don't got that kind of time. As far as the whole development of the game and being a coordinator and everything that we talked about, it's about being productive. It's about production and accountability. It's about good relationships, holding yourself to a certain standard, understanding how far good relationships can actually take you in this game of football. I mean, I played. I worked for a guy I coached. So I mean, relationship is huge. I got guys on my staff that
you coach Marlon?
Yeah, I coached him at Benedict.
Wow.
He played for me.
Wow.
So, and it means a lot to me that when he got his job, he reached out to me and called me. And I'm pretty sure it just wasn't because I was a quality defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. He was coming from a place where he probably had 50,000 DCs texting him in his inbox and things of that sort. But he made it his point to call me. And that's one of the reasons our relationship is the way it is. And I worked so hard for him because he really didn't have to. He gave me an opportunity to come over here and be around him and learn and work under him, even though I coached him. So that says a lot about the relationship that we have and the relationships that football creates. I tell my ball players this all the time. The people you play with are going to be your friends longer than the people who live next door to you. those relationships and the things you go through in this game take you so much further than just any average relationship. It does. And that's what I leave here. Even this whole situation with me being on this live, it's about the relationships that were built through the game of football. There's nothing more beautiful than that, man.
Well, I appreciate you. Did you win last week?
No, we lost last week, Coach.
Okay.
We lost 20-12.
Okay.
Like I said, and it was hard because it was a wing T team, Flexbone. They ran that dive, that midline on me, and every 10 minutes we had a lightning delay.
Yeah.
We drove down to Charleston and they sent us back home. We drove back to Charleston Saturday for a 5 o'clock game. Didn't get back on the field till 8:45. I mean, it was a lot. No excuse. We lost the game 20-12. We corrected it. We got Westwood this week, so we're looking to have a better showing this week.
Well, good luck to all you guys. And I mean, guys, we're talking to people who has gotten it done, and I think the biggest thing that I've gotten out of this tonight is that to all coordinators, you got to have that relationship with the head man.
Yes.
So that you can talk turkey to them. You can't sit back and fold your arms and say, "All right, this is yours." You know, this is it. You know, I'm pointing. What's that you did there all the night? You pointing. You can't do that. You know, you got to come up with a solution, and the only way that happens is with relationships, and you got to have each other backs. And,
oh yeah,
very important.
Yeah, and nobody can come between you.
There you go.
You know, and you got to. That has to happen. Let me also give a shout out to the Curnell tribe. They must have had about 700 people on the thing tonight, man.
I thank all of them for paying me some kind of attention, man.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, guys, I really appreciate it, man. I do, man, and you know, to give this man something to do and everything. So y'all have a good night and good luck this weekend, and you know, just keep on smiling, keep on enjoying yourself, man. Love the game today.
It's a good luck to you, Coach Page. You
Good
know,
luck to you, Coach.
We'll be talking. I'll be talking to you, Coach Leonard.
Okay, man.
Okay. Take care, Coach.
All right, see y'all guys later.
All right. And guy, that wraps up the inaugural coordinator's house. I don't know what I'm gonna call this. The coordinator's house. I don't know, but I think it's a much needed thing because coordinators are much different than head coaches. It's a different world. Yes. And we got to start listening. You got to start knowing your guys on your staff. I'm talking about the fans and everything, and then seeing this guy, because these guys do a job, and they are so important in the program, especially the good ones. Let me give a shout out to myself. Of course, if any of you need quotes on life insurance, tax, we can show you how to build money and build up a tax-free retirement. We can get your people covered with life insurance and annuities and everything. Give me a holler. My number's right there. This is how we fund this. A part of whatever we do with that goes into this thing, and I'm self-funded. So to keep these things going, and trust me, I got a lot of good things, a lot of good ideas from people to get this thing even bigger than what it is. So give me a holler, inbox me if I can help you. And trust me, I'm not going to try to get all your money and everything. I don't want that. But for, especially teachers and everything, you do need that secondary retirement program.
Yes, Lord.
I can show you how to do it and do it right. Hit me up. You know, it's not me. It's not me that I'm trying to get going here. My days are gone, but I can show you how to get it done and get it done the right way so that you can have a choice to retire instead of having to retire. So with all of that, y'all have a good night, and thank you all of you for being on the show tonight, and thank all the fans and everything. So y'all have a good night and good luck again this weekend. Okay.
You too, Coach. Both of you coaches. Y'all have a good night.
Okay.
Hey, Coach. See you later.